In this video, we are going to use standard 3D building blocks to build SolidWorks parts. So we have here a widget. If you look at this widget, there is an extrusion, and then a loft, and then a sweep, another extruded shape, and then finally a revolve for the end shape. We've got a lot of dimensions here explaining what that looks like. There's also some holes that are drilled into the part here, and some fillets and several other things of interest that we'll talk about as we move through the part. So let's open up SolidWorks, and we're going to go ahead and start a new part. So I'm going to click on the new button and a part and OK. And before I get going, we'll go ahead and save this part. I'll call this widget 2 because I already have a widget 1. Okay. Before I get started drawing, let's go through a couple of the options. So these options here, the first button is just the options button, and there's a couple things I want to point out here. One of them, under sketch, I really like to auto-rotate the view normal to sketch plane on sketch creation. What this means, if you check this sketch, is that every time you create a new sketch, you're automatically going to rotate your view till you're looking directly at the sketch. You're looking normal to the sketch plane. So that's very useful. I recommend making that check. And there are several other options that might be interesting. I also have something called document properties. These have things like units. So I'm going to set this as inches for this part. Alright, so we're ready to begin our part. We are going to start with the extruded shape right here. So the extruded shape is 1 inch by 1 inch, and it is 1/4 of an inch tall, and it's a rectangle. So going to SolidWorks, let's make a sketch on the top plane. I'm going to right click and then the new sketch button. I'm going to choose a rectangle, center rectangle, place the first point on the origin, and then drop my other place just somewhere to make the beginning of the shape. Then we'll do a smart dimension. I'll dimension the top 1 inch. And then for the side, what I want to do is I'm going to add a relation. And I'm going to say that I want this side and this side to be equal in length to each other. And then click OK. And I'm going to press Escape to unselect everything, deselect everything. Here at the bottom of the screen it now says fully defined and all of the lines have turned black. So I know that this sketch has all the dimensions necessary for SolidWorks to not have to make assumptions. So I'll exit the sketch, and we're going to hit the extrude button and extrude it 0.25 in depth, and click OK, and we now have a solid part. So I'm finished with my first extrude. I'll click Save, and let's see, while we're here, let's go ahead and change the material. So I'll right click on Material, Edit Material. And for this part, it's we'll say it's aluminum, so I'll choose aluminum alloys and scroll down to 6061 alloy, just a basic standard aluminum. Apply that, and it changes the appearances. Some other things I might want to do, we're going to add a fillet. I want my fillet to be 0.1 inches, which it already is, and I'm going to select these lines to create the fillet. For edges, so I'll click OK. I'm going to grab the appearance task pane, and I'm going to choose metals, chrome plate, and selecting it on here. When I let go, it's asking me, do I want it to apply to the face, to that particular extrusion, to the entire body, or to the entire part? I'm going to choose the part button. And now the whole thing should have a chrome finish, should be much more reflective. So I just wanted you to see what it looks like to put a different appearance on it. If we don't like that appearance, I'll just come back here and delete the appearance. remove the appearance and it goes back to be the regular standard aluminum appearance. Alright, for the next feature it's going to be a loft. So let's take a look at our diagram. Our diagram shows that it's going to start as a square and then loft up to a circle. So going to SolidWorks, let's create a new sketch on this face, top face. I'll right click on that face, click the sketch button, and again because of my settings it's going to rotate until it's normal to the sketch plane. And just to demonstrate another feature, let's use the Offset Entities button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the face this time, and it's going to grab the whole face, the surrounding of the face. I want this to be 0.25 of an inch. So I'll type that in and click Tab, and it shows me a preview. I want it to be on the inside instead of the outside, so we'll reverse the direction and click OK, and that's going to finish the sketch. The advantage of doing this is now I only have one dimension that's controlling the entire offset. So we'll exit the sketch. Alright, so there's the first sketch. Now, and if you notice what I'm doing to zoom is rolling the scroll wheel on my mouse, so middle mouse rolling it around. If I press the middle mouse button, that's how I rotate. That's how I'm accomplishing the 3D manipulation there. The next thing that I want is a circle on a plane up above the first plane. So to do that, I'm going to do a reference geometry, and I'm going to create a reference plane. It's asking me for as many references as necessary to fully define the plane. If I click this top surface here, it's going to assume that what I want is a plane that's parallel to that plane, offset 0.1 inches. That's close. I want it to be offset 0.5 inches. But it went the wrong direction, so we'll flip the offset. That makes it 0.5 directions. This is where I want to draw my circle sketch. Green means fully defined, so I'll click the check mark. And now I can right click on plane 1 and create a new sketch. And now we're going to draw a circle from the origin to the square. And I can't move the center of the circle because there's a coincident constraint with the center, but I can move the diameter. What I'd like to do, instead of dimensioning the diameter, I'm going to do another relation. So add relation, and I'm going to take this line and this circle, and I'm going to say that I want those two to be tangent to each other. I'm going to hit escape to clear all of my selections, and we can see that the circle is now fully defined. So let's exit that sketch. You can now see we have one sketch down here at the bottom, it's called sketch 2, and one here at the top on plane 1, it's called sketch 3, and the two of them are going to make up my loft. So just for clarity, I'm going to right click on plane 1 and click the hide button to hide it. And now we're ready to do a lofted base. So I'll click the loft. And the first thing it asks is what profiles am I interested in. One way to do it is to click on the profile. So if I click on this line in the sketch, it's going to assume that's the sketch I'm interested in. The other way is to use this drop down selector, and for my other one I'm going to click sketch 3 here. And it automatically assumes those are the two profiles I'm going to loft. Notice we could also choose guide curves if we wanted to control how this yellow line moves from the bottom sketch to the top sketch. As it is, it looks like the way I want it. So I'll just click the check mark, and we've now made our second feature.